ICTC 6212 Portfolio of Evidence for 2021. Here are a few step-by-step guidelines just to guide you through this PoE. Step 1, to open your PoE PDF, to consult the instructions and rubrics, and you can also open up these guidelines. Then step 2, you open up a Word template and you change the name to your details. So step 2, I've created a template for you to use in Word. You are free to use it or not. It's absolutely your choice. In that template, I explain to you exactly what you need to do. I've also already copied all the tables or the lesson plan template that you need to use. Everything is in there already, but you are free to use your own Word document. Then step 3, very important, you need to choose a topic from any learning area in grade 5. And you are going to use this topic for all the activities. So you're going to choose a subject, any of the subjects for grade 5, and then any topic within that subject. And you are going to work with this topic for all the activities, all 5 activities. Step 4, you do all the activities, you create everything that you need to create, like the lesson plan, the assessments, the Canva or pictochart, infograph, everything that you need to create, you do in the Word document. Then step 5, you check all the activities against the rubrics. Very important, remember I use the rubrics to mark your PoE, so please make sure that you tick off all the elements and that you aim for the best mark for each criteria. Then you need to convert the Word document to a PDF, and then you submit it through SafeAssign in the correct link, ICTC 6212. Please remember to also make sure that you do submit your ICTC PoE into the ICTC link. So let's start with Activity 1. Activity 1.1 and Activity 1.2, we're going to combine this into one infographic. So for Activity 1, you are going to design an infographic. And the instruction is, how does the TPAC help teachers use ICT effectively? TPAC is for technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge. In this activity, you will explore the TPAC model and use it to demonstrate how you would teach content knowledge to your learners by answering the following questions. In Activity 1.1, you need to explain how the TPAC works by providing a definition and examples for 5 marks. In Activity 1.2, you are going to think of a lesson topic you have enjoyed presenting. Like I said in the steps, this topic you are going to use in all the activities. Using your textbook and conducting additional research, create your own TPAC model for the lesson topic you have chosen. Use smart art or any other diagramming tools, and then you are going to illustrate 5 questions. You are going to address the 5 questions. So let me just first give you some examples of the tools that you can use. You can use pictochart, Canva, Infogram. You can use smart art, which is a part of your Office package. You can use Visme. There are a few diagram apps or infograph apps that you can choose from, which are free to use. So create it in one of those amazing apps. The topics that you need to illustrate in your infograph are the following. You need to address A, B, C, D, and E in this infograph. So in other words, you need to tell us or me the lesson topic outcomes that needs to be illustrated in your infograph, which technology technology tools, suit teaching the subject matter. So you will choose at least 3 tools or apps that would suit this subject matter. These tools are not to be used for assessment only, but to teach the content as well. Right, so you may choose, for instance, 2 tools to teach the content and 1 to assess, or the other way around. So make sure that you choose apps that assess as well as teach. Very important. Then you also need to tell what technological knowledge is needed to achieve the lesson outcomes. Number D, how you would help the learners to achieve the lesson content outcomes. So in other words, how would you teach them? Which strategies will you use? Number E, how the use of this technology would impact the choice of pedagogy. So you need to address all 5 of these questions within the TPAC model. Your answers should be in the form of a process diagram where questions A to E above support each of the 3 components of the TPAC model. Remember to include where the components intersect. Right, so these are, and this is an example of a diagram that you might use. So you may not just copy this and take a screenshot. You need to create these circles. All right, so if you want, you are going to use the circles because it works very well when you want to show where it intersects. So you may use circles to illustrate your TPAC model. But please create the circles yourself in Canva or in Pictochart or in whatever app you choose to use. So you are going to explain questions A to E, all these questions, you are going to explain in this model. So you are going to apply your topic that you have chosen and the lesson that you will plan around that topic to this diagram, to this model. So content knowledge would link to the curriculum integration, content knowledge. Pedagogical knowledge will link to the considerations that you need to make about the learners in your class. Technological knowledge will link to the tools or apps that you are going to use. So here I give you some tips on where to discuss what. So in this circle for technological knowledge, you are going to describe the tools and apps that you consider to use for the topic that you have chosen. So we do not want a definition of what each of these bodies are. We want an application of how you would apply technological knowledge in the lesson that you want to present to your learners. So a hint for this is to start with your lesson plan, which is actually activity 3. This is just a tip that I would maybe do if I would have been a student. I would have started with lesson plan creation, activity 3, and then it will be easier to see where each of these elements in my lesson plan fits into this diagram. So please use all these tips that I've given you here to apply the description that you are going to give for each of these bodies of knowledge. And here you can clearly see that this diagram indicates the intersections. And then in the middle, it is the TPAC. So for technological, pedagogical content knowledge, all of these elements in the lesson plan applies. All right, so you would have a nice description here of the TPAC in the middle. So this is examples of what you can do in Canva or Infogram or Pictochart or wherever you want to create your infograph. This you would see this block here or the rectangle here links to the star there, which is your technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge. So this person chose to explain the different bodies of knowledge as well as the intersections in different frames around this diagram. But you may choose to do whatever you want. Remember, a good infograph do not have too much text. This is a lot of text with no actual other elements like icons or pictures or illustrations. So please make use of that as well. Like this example, they try to incorporate icons or little pictures as well to explain everything. This one also tried to use some pictures. So these are just examples. I do not want this one for every single PoE. You must think of something else. This is an example, and you are going to design your own model. This is an example, so you may not use this one. This is also an example of how you could address say for instance activity 1.1, where you had to give a definition and examples of what the TPAC model is, and here this person explained with colors how the different bodies of knowledge are used in a lesson. This is also an example of what is TPAC for activity 1.1, and then the diagram, then you can go on with the diagram. So that is why I said activity 1.1, where you need to give a definition and examples of the TPAC model, and activity 1.2, the diagram of the TPAC model, is in one infographic. Right, so here you can see this person kind of addressed what is the TPAC in activity 1.1, and then this is activity 1.2. All right, so you do this in one infographic. Here you can click on this link. It's a clickable link to watch a little video on what makes an infographic effective. Tips on a good infographic. Please watch this before you start with your infographic. Let's look at the rubric. So rubric for activity 1.1, where you need to explain how the TPAC works by providing a definition and examples, a comprehensive explanation including all three components. Research is evident. The student demonstrates a clear understanding of the concept by providing practical examples. For 5, excellent. 4, good. 2 to 3, developing, and 0 to 1, poor. Right, so it should be an infographic. So it should be appealing to the eye. Use color, use icons, use text, but it should not be text heavy. So not too much text in your infographic. For activity 1.2, where you have created your own TPAC model for the lesson topic you have chosen, if no diagram is present, award 5 marks for the list of information only. So if you have just listed those with no diagram, the maximum that you could earn here is 5 marks. So for 15 marks, you have provided the lesson topic outcomes from the CAPS document. You named and described 2 tech tools. You described the technological knowledge required for this lesson. You describe the content knowledge required for the lesson, for the topic. You describe the choice of pedagogy, so it's the pedagogical knowledge. You used a smart art or diagramming tool or app. So for that, if you have indicated you've used Canva or infogram or whatever, you will earn 2 marks. Diagram includes all information above, shows intersections, and is clearly labeled. For that, you can earn up to 3 marks for a good, excellent infographic. Okay, before I go to activity 2, I'm going to stop the recording.